makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia de Ravin.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. In this episode, I will be having a conversation with Tina Richter. Tina is the president and CEO of WPNX Worldwide Inc. With over 40 years of experience. Tina's commitment to transforming recycling practices had led her to a groundbreaking invention, the WPNX17 Additive. I look forward to learning more about the invention and how it can help marine life in the sea. Good morning, Tina. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. Your work as the president and CEO of WPNX Worldwide Inc. is truly impressive, and especially your invention. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the plastic industry?
Sure. Good morning, and thank you for having me. I've been in the business for about 40 years. I've been doing plastic injection molding. I actually started out as machining, and I met my husband and he did mold making, which is a derivative of that. And then we got into the plastics together, and I've just always had a love for plastics, inventions and design and just creating new products. But over the years, it just seems like the recycling part of it just kept getting worse and worse, and plastics just kept getting a bad name. And everybody was trying to get away from single-use products and stuff. And during the manufacturing that I've done, I've had millions of pounds of plastic delivered and having to return it because of contamination. We do large volume parts for like Walmart and Costco and Home Depot. So cost is very important. And when you're buying virgin materials that have never been used, those are the best. But when you have to use regrind and reprocessed materials, there's always a problem of having contamination. And so during COVID, I know it was terrible for the world, but it actually did a benefit for me because instead of working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I got to dream. I didn't have any interruptions. I was in my lab creating, and it was just a good time to be able to do things that I've always wanted to do, but never really had the time. And so I started playing with some formulations of trying to create plastics to combine. And everybody kept telling me, no, it's not possible. And that's what I like to hear. When somebody says you can't do it, then it's like, okay, I have to prove you wrong now. So kept trying things. We would try different materials together, simple things. Those started working. And then I started adding different materials and different formulations, and we got it. And I was I was screaming, yelling and screaming up and down. I was so excited that it worked because everybody said no. So then we started proving the process, and then I filed a patent. And we've just been going on from there, and we've had connections all over the world. We've sat with heads of states and heads of countries, and we've got so much activity going on right now. We're ready to burst at the seams and get everything going. So we're excited.
But this is so fantastic. I like the fact that people keep telling you this is not going to work. Millions of others already tried. Didn't work probably. You probably hear that a lot. And you didn't give up. You just keep on trying.
Yep. Exactly.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is during the pandemic, everybody else was in the bed trying to figure it out what to do next because nobody was prepared for that. And it's kind of like interesting. You spend your time inventing. So it was like, well, I know you guys want to stay in bed, but me, I have some work to do. This is me time to prove people wrong. So I just love what you did. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an exciting time. It really was. We got to do a lot of different things, and I've got a great team behind me. So, I have these dreams and visions of doing things, and, God gives me my dreams and visions. And so I would come back in the lab the next day and invent. And it was just a great thing. It was just so inspiring to keep doing that. And I've got several products that I have besides WeaponX worldwide that, with the agent, there's a lot of different things to do. So I'm into health products and different things that will really help people in the future. So just got to get one thing going. And then that way, once that starts taking off, then I can start focusing on the others.
One step at a time.
Yes.
So when somebody read your company name, you hear WeaponX Worldwide Inc. So automatically you think like, okay, this company makes weapon. But
Correct.
that's not the reality. So can you tell us a little bit more about the company?
Well, it is a weapon. So it's a weapon of the destruction of plastic in the world. So it goes after, it annihilates that problem. So that's how we came up with WeaponX. It was just something to go after, and everybody, oh, it's an aggressive name and you're not going to have any luck with, people and stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of people that have seen the name and they just shut down. And I says, no, you've got to understand, if you research a little bit more of what it actually is, this is a weapon for the world. And we want to share this with the world. We've had offers of just going away, and that's not what I want. It's not about the money. It's about the reaction of what it's going to do. We want to clean up the oceans, the landfills. We want to reinvent new materials that are no longer single use, but multi-use. WeaponX can be used over and over and over again. There's no life cycle to it. So you just keep adding more additive to it and keep going. So there's no reason why any plastics should go to the ocean or to the landfill. If you bring it to a recycling center and get paid for that to recycle it, more companies will really actually, once the rejects or the plastic is sent to the recycling companies, they'll actually separate it, or they'll actually use it unseparated, use the WeaponX and reinvent something. So right now you use all of your recycling bins and it all goes to the landfill. They don't actually do anything with it because it's too costly to sort it. It's too costly to do everything. So with this, you don't have to sort the plastics. You can put everything together, every kind of plastic. It goes in. So it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's whatever's in it is poured out, so that there's no liquids and stuff like that. You don't want that, or food. But I mean, it's just a process of getting people retrained into how things are going to happen. So once this gets mandated in the United States, this is something that's going to change lives. So.
Yeah, I think that too. It's a weapon, but it's a weapon in a good way that's going to save our animals' lives, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to share the world with them. And it's kind of funny when I was reading about your company, and that reminds me, last week, my son did a presentation in school because he has to go do a presentation, but he's an animal lovers. And his presentation was about the animals in the ocean, the fact that we are dropping so many plastics, and then there was some kind of fish that think that it's food and it start eating it, and which was some sort of turtle, and that turtle can get killed. And when I read yours, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so interesting, because that can stop that issue. And I think that people just need to pass by the name and look at the name as a way that it's not a weapon that's going to kill human beings or kill animals or do anything like that. It's a weapon that's going to save the animals that we're supposed to protect and share the world with. And I think that's how people need to look at it.
Correct. And people, because people eat the fish that's in the ocean, they'd eat the plastics. So,
that's true.
It's a very, very viable answer to all of this. So it's just getting it out there and getting people using it.
Exactly. And I think that it's going to be a good product. So don't let the negative part of it pull you down. So denim,
Never.
match with it. So now I know during COVID you are very busy invented. I'm thinking you are inventing WPNX17.
So it's WPNX17. That's what the agent number is. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that product itself?
So what it is, it's a chemical composition. So there's 17 different chemicals in there. All of the chemicals are safe. So because all of the additives that other companies have had to use, there's so many regulations that are coming through where you can't use that product anymore because it's dangerous. It can't get in the landfill. So I wanted to make sure that all of my stuff was natural or food grade, so that no matter how you use this additive, it's safe. And if it was to get in the ocean and some kind of animal would eat it, it would still be safe. It's still plastic, but it's still safer than what would be out there.
That's interesting. So you're saying that even, let's say, an animal's eat it, that animal wouldn't get sick or die or anything like that, or it's just lower the chance?
I can't really say that. Yeah, I just can't say that. But I mean, I can say that, because we're not using the harsh chemicals in the materials, not saying what would be used to add to that, because it doesn't matter what they use. So if they've used a material that has a lot of chemicals in, that's not going to change it. It's not going to take it out. But if you're using just normal polypropylenes, polyethylenes, ABS, those kind of materials and stuff, yeah, you can still use that as a safe product.
That's safe products. So now, how do you planning on utilize that in the future, and what impact do you think you will have in the environment itself?
Well, in the future, we plan on going worldwide. We're looking at setting up plants right now in Africa, Indonesia, Cambodia, and India. So those plants would be, we would send a team out, set everything up properly, because like in certain areas of Africa, there's nothing there right now. So it would be a whole new model, but it would give work. It would give jobs. It would give people desires. You could make housing with this. So there's all kinds of opportunities for jobs and work creation and stuff like that. But I can't remember what your second question was. What was that?
So what impact do you think it will have in the environment?
So this is a huge impact. We've done conservative numbers on, just very small percentages of what we could attain. And those numbers just far exceeded my expectations, because even with taking small percentages out of what was going to the landfill, even if it's just home use or manufacturers not throwing away their products, just that alone is a huge percentage in the world. But then when you start doing cleanup, so say, for instance, Indonesia, you're using the products and stuff that are all over the land, and you start cleaning up the areas. Can you imagine just the sickness and everything else that you're, no longer having to deal with? Plus the carbon footprint, you're not recreating a new material. You're using something over and over and over again. So the carbon footprint is a huge impact.
And also with Weapon, the company itself. So how do you plan on educate people on how to actually use the products and then the value behind it?
So we have a team of researchers and developers that are actually going out and they're teaching. I was having a meeting with Pakistan this morning, and so they're already starting the process of how they're going to proceed. So if it's something that they have that's internally in their country, they could use. Otherwise, we would send a team out to build a factory and then teach them. And then the team, like in Africa, will stay there for 3 years. So they basically, at the end of 3 years, and if it's sooner, that's awesome. But at the end of 3 years, they come away from the product, or come away from the a business, and then it's ran through the government or however, whoever wants to run it, private parties. There's all different types of ways that we can do that, but it's their business. It's not mine. That's not what I do, but I'm having to teach people so that we can get this done. So I have no problem with sending teams out for training or answers or anything like that. We want to make sure that this is being used. So whatever it is that we have to put forth, we're willing to do.
So I'm guessing that every time you have to go to a country to set that up, you are also opening jobs because you need to hire in more people.
Yes. So the team would be set up and then we would be training others. So if we had to do different types of setup, so some countries already have recycling in place. We just need to put the machinery in place to do the products. So it might not take that long. It might take a month or 3 months to get something going, where otherwise, in Central Africa, it's going to take a couple of years at least, to bring in power and energy and stuff like that. So
that's a big project for Africa.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am. That it warms my heart. I'm chomping at the bit waiting to do this. So I cannot wait. And it's so beautiful to talk to everybody all over. It's just the different cultures and stuff is just been so enlightening.
So how do you feel like every single day you're talking to people in Pakistan, Africa, all over the world? It's like, it's not every day people got to do that,
No, absolutely not. I just wake up every morning thinking, how blessed am I? How blessed am I? I just cannot imagine. It's like I look at my calendar and I think, wow, I get to sit with these people. I've been invited to Africa to sit with the presidents. So we'll do that here pretty soon. So, it's amazing, the connections, and just, being honest. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So anything and everything that people want to ask me, I'm very truthful and upfront with that.
But it's great, though, because when women stand up and then opening doors for other women, because that's what you are doing. Because when you're sitting in that table with them, you are showing them that we are capable of doing more than just staying at home and cook dinner and then make the food and then take care of the children. We can do a lot more than that. And that's what you are doing. You are opening doors for the next generation.
So some of the doors that have been opened have never been opened for women. There's never been a chance to sit with some of these world leaders as a woman, as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur. Those chances and opportunities just don't come around. They send a man in and they send a man in to do the work, but at this point, they're anxious to talk to me. So I've never seen this before. I've been in business a long time and I've been in a man's world all my business life. And I've had calls where people years ago would say, well, can I talk to a man? It's like, well, you can, but he's going to put you right back with me. So yes, but you're still going to get the same answer. So, it's just, that's changed over the years, but it's been more accommodating, but it still is. All over the world, there's different cultures and stuff that don't respect women as having a voice. So it's going to be a little different in some places, but, I think we can attain it.
Absolutely, we can. And just remember, every time you are sitting at that table, you feel a little uncomfortable. Think about it this way. I'm not doing this just for myself, but I'm also doing it for the next generation and for women that's right here, right now in this world that need to be heard. And that
absolutely.
Cannot. So now,
I bring young girls in. I bring young girls into the company, into my lab, and I have them start formulating with me. So start getting them, in junior high and high school. And, because when you go into high school and it's like, why do I have to do math? Why do I have to learn this? I'm never going to use math in my life ever. Well, I use math every day. So you never know. So I say, pay attention, do your science projects, really think about what you're doing and understand why you're doing it. So when they come into the lab, I say, okay, we're going to formulate this product today. So I want you to research every piece of ingredient that we have and tell me why I'm using that ingredient and what the results are. So, it's at the end of the day, it's like, And I say, well, then you have to learn the percentages of everything. You have to be able to measure properly. So all of the math skills come in with that. So it's just, exciting to see their eyes open up and, it's like, wow, okay, this is now interesting. Now I can do this in school. It makes sense. So pay attention and get good grades and, and come here when you graduate.
Do you have planned to add any program, some sort of internship or anything like that for the young one?
Absolutely. That is my dream. So I love to work with the kids and just opening up their eyes and just bringing them in and giving them tests. We've done science projects here, some fun ones, some dangerous ones, and, everything in between with the kids. And we've got videos of them and just, it's amazing what they learn. So yes, that's something that we would like to have a curriculum with. And then go out to schools and, and be able to teach these kids what there is. Because, there's a bigger life than a computer in front of you or a phone. So there's so much more that you can do. So let's get them busy and keep their minds growing and developing.
Absolutely. And I think that will be also a great summer program. So to keep, because some kids during summer, they just stay at home, play video games, and hey, they can go out there and do other things as well. So that brings me to another question. How does your background in custom molding and machining inform your work as the CEO of WPNX Worldwide Inc.?
Well, my formal education was to be an accountant. So
no
totally
way.
Different. Yeah, totally different than what I ended up with. I did like doing the books and stuff when we started the business and everything. So that was exciting and stuff. But once I started getting my hands on plastics and stuff, that's where my dream came true. Because I don't know, I'm crazy. I like to smell it and taste it and bite it. And I can tell you exactly what it is by doing all those different, non-formal ways of testing the plastic. And I've got a great nose for materials. I know exactly what's running and everything else. So that was just what was exciting to me, was being able to change materials or develop new products with different materials that were not as acceptable as people had thought. So I give classes on training of, whatever it is. I'm forklift certified, so I can get my hands dirty. I can do everything from point A to point B, with designing, engineering, developing, running machines, putting molds in machines. It doesn't matter. If you don't know all of the aspects, it's really hard to get a final product. And I think because of the knowledge that I've built over the years of how to do production, that's really helped me with my formulations.
So now, as a woman and also a minority business owner, what challenges has you faced in the industry?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. First, this is not a normal thing for a woman to develop. This is something that, a high-end chemist, somebody that has been in the plastics development, designing and engineering the materials. So this is not a normal thing for anybody to do as a woman. So there's been challenges. And I've been able to tackle those and, just treat them as speed bumps and go on.
Keep on moving forward.
That's right. That's right.
So now, can you share some advice for us for young entrepreneurs that looking to make a positive impact in the world?
Dream big. If you can dream it, you can do it. There should be nothing that stops you from developing and engineering something. Even if you don't have the correct skills, please just keep dreaming. There's something that's going to come from it. I met with a bunch of students last week from a university, and, they said, this is all we do is dream. And we've been able to come up with a team of kids that we've been able to develop a product. And there's nothing stopping them because they dreamed big. And nobody, even though they had the naysayers saying, you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do this, they did it. And it's just, it's so inspiring to see the young generation, because that's our future. We've got to invest in the young generation. So the more we can invest in them, the better the world's going to be.
So now, how can people get involved with WPN? So how can they be a part of it to help you share the words out there and let people know it exists?
It's just as simple as sending me an email. So send me an email and let's get connected. There's got to be something that we can do. There's so many different areas of the world that are going to accommodate this. So we need to be able to build teams. We need to build people that come in that have a heart for wanting to do this, because that's going to make the change.
And this is not a product anyone can just purchase. It has to go through the government, correct?
No government. Anybody can purchase this. So any manufacturer, anywhere, it doesn't matter. I'm not being restrictive of how it's being sold because I don't want it being controlled. So I don't like control. So I like to be able to do things on my own. So no, I want this to be everywhere.
So anyone can purchase it, and they have to go on your website, contact the company, and be able to purchase it. How does that work?
Yeah, so eventually, it's probably in another month or two, we will be taking orders. Right now, we're getting funding. So once that comes in, that'll pay for my equipment that's needed to add to what I already have and to get all the chemicals and everything else. Then it's going to be able to be sold. So you would just go on the website, place your order. We'll have sales teams that'll be out there. So it just, and other manufacturers and stuff that will be carrying the product also.
And when you say that you are waiting on funding, are you going, what type of funding are you going after?
Well, we have funding that's coming in from all over the world. It's been a hard tackle for the United States with the economy and everything that's going on. People are not investing as much as they were before. They're being a little gun shy with that. So with other places in the world, with Dubai and Saudi Arabia and Australia, they're all very eager to do this. So, and then we also are going after grants. There's a lot of grants out there. So I had a grant writer write up a paper, and then those are being sent out now.
So you're not open to the public to help you out. You're just going in a private way for funding. Is that what it is?
Well, for the next 2 weeks, we decided that we would open it up for friends and family at a low cost, so that it makes it so that people can actually invest in this and make a difference in their life. In a year or 2 years, the return of investment is huge on this project. So with a small investment, they can, do something for their future. And once the funding comes through, then I can no longer keep that open because that changes drastically.
But for now, if anyone wanted to do that, they can go to your website and be able to do it.
They can go to the website and send me a message, or I'm on Facebook. There's an article on there showing what it is under my name, Tina Richter, and they can go to that and contact me, send me a private message if they're interested.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about your work with your church and disaster relief, and how that works inform your business and personal philosophy?
Well, it's just a personal thing. I love to be connected with God and people. I'm a very community-oriented person. I love to hug. So that's usually how I do everything. It's kind of funny because I have customers or somebody come in and, first thing I do is hug them and they're like, oh, that's just me. But I'm a board, I'm the treasurer on my board at Church 242. And I just absolutely love the connection with the people and with the Lord, and just being able to pour out to that and be involved in community events and everything that comes my way. So it's great. We have the best church people ever. So
well, it's good to be connected with other people when it's come I guess it's a place of having other people around you that
Absolutely.
to be with. So anything else you'd like to share with us before I let you go today?
That's about it. I'm anxious to get this, out in the production and get this out into the world and get this going so that we can get the other projects that we've got. We've got a biodegradable material that I'm working on right now. And so that'll be next to get released. And so we're just looking forward to this. I just love the idea of it being able to heal the world. So.
And I think we all should love the idea of healing the world, because if we heal the world, we heal ourselves. Because right now,
Amen.
I felt like a lot of this disease out there, I felt like we are the one created ourselves because our air is not really good as it's supposed to be. I don't know, a lot of not good things going on. And
Absolutely.
we are creating disasters. And I think that we make the mess and we need to fix the mess ourselves. And
Absolutely.
And I think we all should come together and help you out to do exactly that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well,
this has been a fun conversation.
It has been. Thank you so much, Tina, for giving me a chance to talk to you and to get to know more about what you are doing. And thank you for opening doors for other women and for sitting in the table, because we need more women to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.